So I'm curious.
What you curious about?
What kind of turnout we're gonna get? Because I know that here in Texas, people lose their minds over the friggin' Cowboys.
Careful, you got 5 people in here now.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
I'm not a fan of football to begin with, so I mean, hey,
I'm from Chicago. I love my Bears.
the Bears,
The Bears.
the Bears. What's up, butterfly?
Hey, hey. There's a familiar face. What's up, butterfly? So I wasn't gonna do anything, but I thought, you know what? I think it is gonna be good to do something on September 11th.
I think so. Were you in the airline industry back then? Were you working that day?
Nope. I was working for myself. I was at home. I just moved to Texas. I had just moved to Texas.
Hello, Ella, Francis, Veronica, Felicia.
Good evening, everybody. We're gonna put on a little video a little bit later. Short
Yeah,
one,
it,
5 minutes.
it's kind of a somber evening.
Yeah.
Punk.
Yeah, let me share this real quick.
Wish you sharing.
The broadcast.
Share alike. J Villa. Hi, Nicole.
Yeah, so like I said, I wasn't gonna go online. Then I thought, well, Bam actually called, and he's like, "We're gonna go online." I'm like, well,
I
if we
did.
do, we should do something on
I
September 11th.
called and I said, "Are we gonna do like a 9/11 show?" And I'm like, "It's like 25 years." And he's like, "No, it hasn't been that long." I'm like, "Well, it's 20 something."
Yeah.
Hey, Cherie. Kate's in the hizzy. The legend. Carol, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while.
Come on. Why is Facebook slow today? Yeah, it's I'm trying to figure out what video to show, and then bam, and I just watched one. It's a short one,
It is short.
and I think that's probably what we're going to show here in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a montage of a bunch of videos slammed together.
Yep. So, where were you? What were you doing September 11th?
Me?
Yep.
September 11th, I was in broadcast school and I was taking a final exam in my music business class. And they came in and stopped the test halfway through and they said, "Hey, we just want you to be aware, yada, yada, yada just happened. And we're going to cancel the final exam and y'all passed with an A." And I'm like, "Thank you, Jesus, because I would have failed this thing." And then we all kind of like went out in the parking lot and decided to go over to one person's apartment so we could like hang out, watch news, and drink beer or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And as I passed a couple of gas stations, I'm like, "What the fuck is going on? $12 a gallon." Then you see another one, $45 a gallon. These independent gas station owners were price gouging because they thought it was the end of the world.
I did hear some of that. I remember that. Yeah.
And people were paying it. And they save the receipts like I guess you're supposed to do. So if you ever feel like you're being price gouged, make sure you save your receipts so you can prove how much you paid because it's against the law. And these gas stations were taken to court and they were made to pay back all the money. So
Yeah. So you were not even somewhere watching it. You were going to the gas station, and that's when you figured out something was going on, or what? Or
Well, we knew what was going on because our instructors came in and told us what
okay,
happened,
okay,
that a plane just hit one of the trade towers, and that they were going to let us cancel the exam and everybody passed, and they were going to cancel the rest of classes for the day. And then I realized something serious was going on from the prices at the gas stations. I'm like, what the hell is really going on?
yeah,
And then later on, when I did get in the airline industry, one of my friends, Mindy, she was working that day. And I said, God, what was that like? And she's like, they, I guess it was the FAA or the president or somebody ordered all flights grounded, no departures from anywhere in the country. And this was for 5 or 6 days.
yeah.
And she goes, what really sucked about it was, nobody got to go home. We were all here for like 24 hours. No, I mean, we took breaks and stuff, but she goes, we would get one flight rebooked, and then all of a sudden it'd be another one that got canceled, and we had to rebook that one because it got canceled for several days, and people nowhere, they couldn't get anywhere.
I'll never forget that part of it. Yeah, I was getting ready to take the kids to school. They were in high school, and right as we're getting ready, all this stuff starts happening on TV. And it's like a plane might have crashed into into a building downtown. They weren't saying what. And then somebody was saying, oh, it might be an accident, like a small private plane, because that's happened before.
Yeah.
And but then somebody kept saying no, that it was a commercial airliner, that they were saying it was a hijacking, and then the other one, and then the other one, and then I had to go drop off. I went to take the kids to school, dropped them off, sped home, just in time to watch the second plane hit. And I was just in shock, man. I was in shock.
Yeah, Chuck says he's got a friend visiting from New York, and he still doesn't like to talk about it. But I visited New York like 1 year before 9/11, and I mean, they're New Yorkers. They were rude, and then I visited New York 1 year after 9/11 to the day.
Mm-hmm.
And the attitude from the New Yorkers, I mean, it was like a 360. I mean, they were nice. It's like they were. I was in the Midwest. They were nice. That's how nice they
Oh,
were.
damn. Yeah, that's a drastic change.
Huge. Now I'm sure 20 years later, 21 years later, or whatever, I'm sure they've kind of got back into their old New Yorker attitude ways.
Hey, Dead Butterfly Project, what station were you working at? I don't know if Harlingen had Delta seasonal service back then or not. I don't know. Or if you were even here. Assuming you're Texas. Where in this country were you working at? Hey, Jay. Yeah, it was horrible, man.
Yeah.
Nicole and Chris, hey.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be a somber day. It's a somber day, but I mean it's a heavy feeling.
I know that flag.
Oh yeah, that's Chicago City flag.
Yep. Hey, Carol. And yeah, so September 11th happened. And of course, all day you're just stuck watching TV, watching the flipping channels. And back then, because I was dumb, I used to watch CNN. So I had CNN on most of the time, but then I started flipping channels. And CNN had this new reporter. What was her name? She's the one who does a lot of the health reporting right now.
She's
Elizabeth something. I think she's still with CNN.
Yeah, I don't watch CNN at all.
And that was like her first. They said, go out there and talk to people. That was her first live assignment out,
Oh, wow.
And this was later in the day when people couldn't find their loved ones, and they were putting flyers up. There was walls that had everybody's photograph. and she's hearing the stories from the families, and she's crying and stuff. I'm trying to remember her name, Elizabeth something.
You know, this just hit my head when you were saying people couldn't find their loved ones and putting up flyers and shit. It's like, what a perfect way to run away from your life. I mean, if you're not happy with your family, your wife, or whatever, what a perfect way just to disappear and go.
Yeah, that's one way to. I want to say Elizabeth Cohen, but I could be wrong. No, can't remember. I'll think of it later. Anyway, so she's given the task to go out and talk to the people, go to downtown, go to Manhattan, and she's crying. People are telling her, I don't know who my mom is. I don't know who my father is. My brother, my sister. They worked at the restaurant up there, and man, it was heartbreaking. She just couldn't. She couldn't contain herself, and I was like, that had to be a rough job.
I bet it was, especially that day. And to be thrown into it like that. But I mean, that was kind of like a sink or swim moment. Let's see what kind of broadcaster you really are.
Yeah,
I mean, you either got it or you don't at this point.
but even then, considering today, if they couldn't do a good job, I'd give them a pass because that was a very traumatic thing to.
Well, you and everybody else in the world, but with their boss, probably not.
Right. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. So after September 11th, I'll say it was not even that same day. It was like the next day. Anger starts to set in. I was like angry that somebody would even attempt to do that to us.
Well, I mean, first you were like shocked. I mean, you're in shock. You can't believe it.
Yeah.
And then the next day, I was kind of like, was that a dream? Did that really happen? I mean, you're angry. I mean, me, I'm still in disbelief.
Yeah. By the second day, overnight, everything turned to anger, and people were angry. And then the day after that is when you start hearing reports about people that are Muslim were getting beat up, or
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, where their businesses were getting trashed, and like see.
That
And even though I was
that's
angry, I didn't agree with that because I know that's not everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, here it's like that one bad apple spoils it for everybody, just like the whole cop thing. I mean, same situation here. Just because they're Muslim and they pray to a different God doesn't mean they're all bad.
Yeah. I was working at Joe's Crab Shack as a prep cook. It was about 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. when the opening wait staff told us to come out to the dining room and the bar TV. The bar TV was showing the breaking news. I got a bunch of those magazines. I think I got. Was it just one magazine or a couple? I can't remember. I think I got a couple different. I got Newsweek magazine for that week, and yeah, there was price gouging like right away.
Oh yeah.
Freaking buttholes, man.
Well, that's one word.
I was getting ready for work as a dispatcher for a tow truck company. Hardly any calls came in that day. All tow truck companies were on alert because we had to double as emergency vehicles. Oh yeah, I bet. I can see that. Hey, Naya. Hey, Chuck, I have a friend down here visiting from. Okay, you just read this one already. Still doesn't want to talk about it. He worked 10 blocks from there when I was talking to him and the first building collapsed. We were put on 3D alert. We were put on alert 3 days later when the Queen Isabella called. Okay, so later that weekend, that same weekend, it was Friday night or early Saturday morning. The bridge that goes from Port Isabel to South Padre Island, a barge hit it, and freaking the highest point of the bridge, a section broke off, and cars went flying into the ocean, into the bay down below.
That's in your neck of the woods?
Yeah. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, there's a documentary out somewhere on it that just came out last month. But everyone here was like, "Holy crap! They're attacking us now!" Texas, South Texas, the bridge or the island.
And I could understand that. I could see that. Yeah, I could see where everybody would think that, especially right after you had this attack and you found out who it was that attacked you, and then you have that unfortunate incident
Yeah,
happen.
that's everyone thought that's what happened until hours and hours went by. Then it's like, oh, a barge might have hit one of the supports.
Right.
7 people died. I don't know how high that fall was. I want to say 100 feet, 120 feet. Um, car just driving over, and then the road just disappears, and yeah, that was bad. Bases were shut down, couldn't leave, no one could come on base. All the airports were shut down. They had to do something with these flights. So flights went everywhere else to every other country, mainly Canada, or they returned to the UK.
Yep. I remember a lot of flights going to Canada.
And there was one story of a flight going to Canada, but they didn't. It was a small town. They didn't have hotels. So the public came out to greet everyone off the airplanes, and they said, "We're going to take so many people," and everybody accepted people into their homes,
I remember that.
and they ended up staying with these families there in that town in Canada for like a week or maybe 2 weeks even until they figured out which airports were going to open, which flights were going to get home first, and all that. It was a mess.
Could you imagine a situation like 9/11, and you're forced to land in a country that you weren't intended to go to, and then you're forced to sleep with complete strangers in their home that you have no clue, and they're gracious enough to bring you in. It's like, could you imagine
Right?
this situation? I mean,
Completely
wow.
different country, people you don't know, and you don't know what's going on because you're getting limited news.
Yeah, and if you
All
don't
you,
speak the language where you're at, you're totally fucked.
oh, Maria, sorry to hear that. That's horrible. But yeah, to be in a different country, and then they're not saying much of anything. They were very hush hush on whether airports were going to open because we didn't know. They didn't know if the attacks were over or if
Right.
they were going to continue. My friend had to walk 15 to 20 miles to get home because everything was shut down. Then he had to get hosed off to get rid of all the contaminants.
Mm.
Yeah, I was working. I used to work for a trade show freight company, and I called my buddies and I said, "Yo, are you watching TV? Turn on the TV." I said, "Go rent a car now. Go." I think they were in. I can't remember. I want to say they were in Ohio somewhere. I could be wrong, but I told them, "Go rent a car." This was on September 11th. I'm like, "Go get a rental right now," which they did, and they were able to drive home. One guy went to Florida or Chicago. The other guy went to New Hampshire. But all the cars were sold out, obviously, for days and days after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just just over 3,000, if I'm not mistaken. That's cool. They turn on the breaking news. Yeah, I was wondering if they turned on the breaking news, rolled the TVs into the classrooms for the kids.
Wow.
I can watch every time they show something. They show the airplanes flying into the buildings, right? As like part of a little montage. But I can't watch a documentary on it. I just get too angry, and I don't want to see it.
Now there's one movie that's done. I think it's United 93. It's not really a documentary. It's kind of like a movie, and it's good. I've seen it.
Is that the one with? Didn't Nicolas Cage do one of those movies?
I honestly can't remember. It's been many years since I've seen this, but this is the one that was headed towards either the White House or the Pentagon, and this is the one where the passengers stormed the cockpit and crashed in Philadelphia.
In Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. That's what I meant. I said Philadelphia. I meant Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I went to that memorial. The last year that I worked in for Sky West before I left, we worked at Johnstown. The airport code is JST, Johnstown, Pennsylvania. and the memorial was, like an hour away. So we went over there, and it was, man, very somber. You walk in there, and it's just, I mean, of course, you got to be quiet. It's like a museum, right? It's where the plane went down, and they're showing photos of everyone who was on the airplane, who the captain was, and the flight crew, people that died, kids and babies, and just you name it, just a full crowd of people. And it was very emotional. You walk in there, and it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just because you know what happened, and it's so quiet. And there's artifacts, there's people's wallets and purses and IDs, and they put them up there for display.
Hmm.
Man, very emotional moment there.
I
It's,
remember one part of the movie of United 93. The passengers were in the back of the aircraft and they were standing there talking and trying to formulate a plan. And there's only two hijackers, I believe, on this aircraft, maybe three, but no more than that.
mm,
And one of the guys said, "Well, they're going to kill us, or we're going to get killed." And one of the other guys said, "We're going to die anyway. So let's at least die trying to save something."
yeah, here it is. It is Elizabeth Cohen. Cohen reported on the aftermath of the destruction of Hurricane Katrina in 2005. It's the award-winning coverage of September 11th terrorist attacks. Yeah, she had been there already, I guess, apparently. And but I remember that she was very emotional. I'll never forget. That's one part I'll never forget.
Yeah, I remember. I can't remember which news. Vivian just made a statement here. She was crying as people began jumping out of the windows. I remember seeing people jump out of the windows
They
of the.
might say, "Oh yeah, I know, man." Oh, that was one of the most horrible things.
Yeah, and which, I mean, what I don't to be in that situation, to jump out of a building that you know you're going to die when you hit the ground, or to be burned or crushed by a building. I mean, which way would you really want to go?
Hey, Sally. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you just got to think of, man, how bad was it up there that people felt the only way out was. I mean, being burned alive, like that's a horrible feeling. You just
Well,
want
yeah,
to
because that'll
escape
be
it, right?
painful, extremely painful. Being crushed to death, that would be painful, especially if you were living through it.
At Vicky. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to jump out of a window myself, because at least the instant that you hit the ground, it'll be over instantly.
Oh, Vicky, that's terrible. That's freaking horrible right there. That's the only thing sadder than what happened to the victims of the crashes themselves was all the first responders that died
Yeah.
from breathing whatever it is that was in the air, whatever it was, whatever toxins were in there, and
Oh, and there was a lot.
yeah,
And just not the first responders. I mean, when the buildings fell, I mean, you're breathing in all that concrete dust and asbestos or whatever else is in those buildings that's been disrupted and now in the air. I mean, there's going to be a lot of lung issues.
yeah. Now going back to people jumping out of the buildings, and I remember cameras were out there and they were trying to talk to people, and reporters were trying to talk to people, and then you would just hear dump, and then you would hear dump. And I'm like, man, what's that noise?
Yeah.
And people said, those are bodies. People are jumping. I was like, whoa, man. I hope they don't show that. And then there is a documentary about that one jumper that they were trying to identify. He had like a white jacket on or something, or white gym shoes, and they were trying to identify him that way.
I don't remember that
I
one.
think it's on Netflix, and it's showing him coming down. It's just a photograph of him falling. And man, talk about sad. I was doing story time with first graders. Was told to turn on television. At first, I was hesitant, then started receiving calls. Today, I'll never forget. Yeah, that's one of those significant moments in life where everybody knows where they were at. Kind of like when Kennedy was assassinated. People who were around back then, they'll tell you exactly where they were, what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yep, legend. That's exactly right. Was a dispatcher for a tow truck company too. Hey, Tammy. I remember watching. They were saying about the hospitals getting jammed up and feeling sick when no one was going to the hospitals. Oh man, that's horrible right there. I remember watching it. We were watching all the footage, and when the building went down, when the first one went down, and it became nighttime in Manhattan, all the dust and all that, it
Yeah.
just darkened. Everything was so creepy. People were running into restaurants and stuff, and this one guy was there telling people to come in, and this lady's crying, "You saved my life, you saved my life," and then it just turned black, dark.
I mean,
It
it was a wall of
was.
ashes and dust and debris just flying through the streets. I mean, if you're ever fortunate enough to be on the West Coast and watch a fog bank roll in, that's
Mhm.
what it looked like.
My uncle was a firefighter at 9/11. My dad towed the cars that had melted in front of the towers. Jeez. I think it really changed since then. Yeah, the TSA was born at the airport.
Oh yeah, that changed the way we fly forever.
And I know people like to give TSA kind of a hard time or joke with them, joke about them or whatever, but I mean, things have been pretty safe since TSA was implemented.
Well, yeah, and they've caught a lot of shit, and they've not caught a lot of shit.
Felix, I have a calendar for 2001, and for the month of September, the picture is of the Twin Towers. Man, save that calendar, man. Don't ever get rid of that. My son came and woke me saying the world had blown up.
Oh, that's from Kate.
Then when I watched the footage, I started screaming at my TV. No, no, no. Yeah, I know. Me too. I was going, no way. And I kept saying, no way. I was asleep. My son woke me up with the breaking news. So scary. First New York, and then the Pentagon got hit. Shit started feeling real scary. My daughter was 10 months old at the time. Yeah, it was. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Nadia. The Falling Man. The Falling Man. That's what the documentary is called. The Falling Man. And it's that's the image right there.
Hmm.
So it's not a nice thing to see, but
So the one thing, well, can't remember which GSC class it was. I've been to several different GSC classes throughout my years, and GSC is ground security coordinator for the airlines. And I remember at one of my GSC classes, my instructor um, must have been a Continental one because she was at the Continental building. So she stood right next to one of these terrorists that hijacked an aircraft and flew it into one of the buildings. We trained these terrorists on how to fly aircrafts.
yeah.
She actually brushed shoulders with one of them, and she said that after she walked by him, her stomach just started turning and the hair on the back of her neck just stood up like she was in the presence of pure evil.
Ugh.
And she's like, something's not right with this one. But you know, it's what caught me, or what just blew me away. What she said was, we trained them how to fly the aircrafts.
Yeah.
I mean, how are we going to train somebody to terrorize ourselves? I mean,
I know, but they didn't know. It's like
they didn't know then, but you know,
just people want. Oh yeah, they want to learn how to fly. I mean, they went to pilot school. They were training on. They trained for a while for this tech.
yeah.
The Baseball Network just did a 1 hour documentary. Yeah, I posted something earlier. like a patriotic look at how sports has reacted to tragedy over the years. And I'll never forget when baseball came back and the Yankees were playing in New York. It was since they were hit. It was a really emotional moment watching the Yankees game. And then the Cubs when they came back to play and Sammy Sosa hit a home run and there's the video of him running around the bases holding the American flag and running around. Very emotional. Very emotional. Yeah, man, those window jumpers were that was rough. Anyway, we should watch this video because I don't want to be on too long tonight.
Yeah, let's go ahead and watch it. I mean, there you will see one of the aircrafts hit a building. So, I mean, just so you're aware that that's going to be showing.
Yeah, that's it. That's what they said. That was the one. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if was that the one in Pennsylvania or the Pentagon.
The one in Pennsylvania was supposed to hit either the Pentagon or the White House. It was supposed to go that way.
Let's see. Stony Creek Township, Somerset County. Let's see. Yeah, it's just outside of Johnstown. All right, let's do this. Let's do this real quick. It's you can see they're less than 5 minutes long.
American 11, are you trying to call?
The cockpit is not answering their phone. Our number 1 has been staffed and our 5 has been staffed.
Hey, I'm going to call from Washington. I am in a situation with American 11, a possible hijack.
What's going on, Betty? The aircraft is erratic again. Problem, very erratic. Betty, talk to me. Betty, are you there? Betty? Betty?
The plane just is
What?
the 737.
What?
Like the World Trade
Who are you
Center.
talking to?
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
United 175, New York. We have some problems over here right now. We might have a hijack over here, 2 of them. Jules, this is Ryan. Lives on an airplane that's been hijacked. If things don't go well, and it's not looking good, I just want you to know I absolutely love you. I want you to do good. So happy to time. Same for my parents and everybody. And I just totally love you, and I'll see you later. Bye, babe.
What are those people going to do? All the elevators are blocked out.
Oh my God. So both towers are now.
Okay, I got an aircraft 6 miles east of the White House.
Crystal City, just north of Crystal City.
Just to the north of your town.
Yeah, stop all departures.
Pentagon just got hit. No for CNN. God damn, I can't even protect my NCA.
United 93, that traffic for you is 1 o'clock, 12 miles eastbound 370.
Negative contact, we're looking United 93.
United 93, Cleveland, if you hear the center ident.
I got that bit to dock. You remaining to be. You have the ball, boys.
Tuesday, 9:47 a.m.
Hi, baby. Baby, you have to listen to me carefully. I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. I'm on the plane. I'm calling from the plane. I want to tell you I love you. Please tell my children that I love them very much. And I'm so sorry, babe. I hope to be able to see your face again, baby. I love you. Bye.
Number 56865. We have, I believe it is a Boeing 757. Can you see him up there, sir?
That's confirmed. It looks like he's rocking his wings.
Roger.
He's rocking back and forth.
Number 56865. I advise you stay away from that aircraft. Go north as fast as you can.
United 93. Have you got information on that yet?
Yeah, he's down.
He's down?
Yes.
When did he land?
He did not land.
Oh, he's down?
Yes,
Bound?
somewhere up northeast of Camp David.
Sean, it's me. I just wanted to let you know I love you, and I'm stuck in this building in New York. There's lots of smoke, and I just wanted you to know that I love you always.
At number 2 World Trade Center, right. Lady was Stevens in the walking. We're not ready to die, but it's getting bad.
I'm on the 83rd floor. I'm gonna die, aren't I? No. Say I'm gonna die. Ma'am, say your prayers. We're gonna think positive because you gotta help each other get off the floor. I'm now.
A new type of war. That's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, this thing not only changed the way we fly, it changed the way we think, how we travel, how we build buildings. I mean, it changed a lot in our lives.
Yep. It's one of those things where, I mean, you don't think it's going to happen to you. You don't think it's possible. It's like, what, hijack? What? But now, Bam and I were in the airline industry, so we had to take every year. We had to update our security. Some people were designated as ground security coordinators, and we had to take classes. And there was always the September 11th and the bombings and the terrorists and what to look for, and a look back. Remember this, remember that, and it was always very. It was scary. It was like, damn, this stuff can really happen. The shoe bomber, he tried to put a bomb in his shoe. The underwear bomber, the guy had explosives in his underwear.
Yeah, I think was on the Delta flight, was the underwear bomber.
And it's like, to hear all these stories, and the instructor, I remember the instructor when I was with Envoy. She was very intense, man. It was not funny. We were like, and she showed us videos of, we had to watch training videos. And a lot of that stuff was unedited. So they would show us actual casualties or what's left of them and stuff like that. And that was nasty. It was hit home like real quick.
And then, I had one trainer show pictures of people and say, who is this? And don't know. And then she'd hit play or do the next slide, and it's like, oh, it's G.I. Jane.
Oh.
Or Jane Raha Jane, or whatever her name. I can't think of her name.
Jane from I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, she was a terrorist.
Yeah.
And showed a picture of Osama bin Laden when he was in school. He went to school over here. He went to our colleges. Was a very intelligent individual.
And then after September 11th, now you're getting all the conspiracy theories, and was it an inside job, or was there a bomb already in the building? And look at the molten lava coming out of one of the buildings, and it's like, what?
No, it wasn't molten lava. It was the airplane fuel on fire.
Yeah, it had to be a combination of things. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure it was molten iron. I don't think it would melt.
See, but I don't think. Now, the one thing they might have a point at, which I don't know if jet fuel would burn so hot that it would melt steel
instantly
into a liquid like it did. And then other footage was saying, well, there was no footage like that. That's all conspiracy. And they put that liquid burning, whatever, pouring out of a building.
I don't know. How hot can jet fuel get when it burns?
I mean, it can get hot, but that's a lot of steel. It would have to burn, I think, hotter than that. And then all the conspiracy theories. I'm like, oh man, I'm sorry, but I refuse to believe, at least at that time, that our government would do that to ourselves.
Oh, as far as population control, that was one of the theories. The government knew it was going to happen, but they did nothing about it because population control.
Population control, or let's show them that these people are really trying to kill us so we can ramp up our military. I think that was one theory. Let's create an attack so that we can ramp up our military and put whatever $1 billion into it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just one who refuses to believe that stuff. Yeah. So for a while, nobody wanted to fly. Airports were closed. Finally, a week later, I think it was 7 days later. Airports
I think it was a week.
Started to open. And everybody was scared. And that's when they implemented the cockpit doors. Once they're locked, once the captain goes in, before they shut the airplane door, that door is not opening until they land and they're parked.
And then they changed the doors to pretty much made the doors and that whole wall out of steel, like safe was made out of.
Impenetrable, I think that's what they call it. And they were locked from the inside, from the flight deck, from the cockpit. And if the captain had to come out, or whatever, use the bathroom, he needed to come out, they would take one of those beverage carts, those are real big, heavy beverage carts, and they would block the aisle, the passenger aisle. They'd block it off with that, and then they'd open the cockpit door, let the captain come, do whatever he had to do, and then go back in.
And somebody had to go back into or there had to be two people in the cockpit at all times.
Yep. So if the captain was out, one of the flight attendants would go in to be the second person in there, or third, whatever kind of airplane it is. And so a lot of changes, man. A lot of changes, TSA and then security and no metal, so you couldn't wear a lot of things, and you had to take off your shoes, and it was a pain in the ass. But everybody thought, I know people thought it was a pain in the ass, but ultimately it was because they were trying to protect, the airways, right? Was it an inconvenience? Yeah, it was.
Huge.
But I think overall, TSA kept us pretty safe.
I think so.
You can joke around whatever you want about TSA and stuff, and I've taken part in that as well sometimes. But
I know I have. I love the ones where you're going through the checkpoint and their X-ray machines have failed or they're broke. And like Sioux Falls, for instance, they only had 2 X-ray machines for the screening checkpoint. So then, they had to go through all your bags by hand, and they had to do everything by hand. Yeah. And it was, a pain in the ass. You were bound to miss your flight.
If the X-ray machine broke, everything checked by hand, and that caused delays. It caused people to miss their flights. Sheesh. Yeah. But still, ultimately, it was all, in the name of
safety
and security. So we learned to deal with it. And
if you don't learn to deal with it, you learn to accept it. And if you can't accept it, get the fuck out.
Yep. So now go forward. We're 21 years, right? That's where we're at.
21.
And some people don't want to remember. Some people want to forget, and others don't care. Some were too young to even, to know what the impact of that was, of that day.
Yeah, today's children will never know. And, it really sucks that, and they may see it on the news, but is it taught in school? Is this, no.
Yeah, no. Why? I think this has got to be one of those things that has to be talked about. I think it
Absolutely.
should.
Oh, absolutely.
Because this kind of crap can happen again, for as
I mean, what's
safe as we
next?
feel.
Take an airplane and plow it into the side of a nuclear plant? You know how many people that would kill? Millions.
Yeah. And we got people with mental illness now. They're stealing planes and taking off in them and crashing them.
Yep.
I forget the gentleman's name. I think his name is Richard Russell. We just talked about this last week. Alaska Air out of Seattle, SeaTac Airport, stole the airplane. He was a worker just like Bam and I were. And he was sick of the unfair wages and the unfair working conditions. And so he was kind of a hero for us, even though he did a bad thing. But he was kind of like, man, somebody stood up for what we were going through.
Well, I mean, there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. And
Yeah.
obviously that was the wrong way to do it.
Yeah, obviously it's the wrong way. I get it. But he kind of, and it's not worth dying for. That's for sure. That job that we did, definitely not worth dying for.
No.
But he must have had other stuff going on. So he stole a plane. He pushed it back himself. I don't know if you noticed that. He hooked it up, pushed it back himself, got out, undid the tow bar, opened the door of the aircraft. The brake was not set, right? Because he had to do it himself. So when he disconnected, the airplane started rolling. So he had to hurry up and open the door, hop on, and then close the door. And that's when he finally took control of the airplane. Took off and circled and did some barrel rolls and stuff like that. And then he intentionally crashed it. And then, what was it, last week? 2 weeks ago?
I think 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, stole a plane.
The Walmart one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he was going to take the plane and crash into a Walmart. And that guy ended up just landing the plane. He made an emergency landing, but he landed. And I haven't heard what's going on with that.
Well, if I remember correctly, if you steal an aircraft, it's a federal felony.
Yeah.
So you're going to be in the federal pen, which is kind of like a country club. If it's that's why everybody wants to go into the federal pens, because they're country clubs.
Club Fed. Yeah. So anyway, life changed since September 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And now your government leaders and different radical groups, more on the left and on the right, are causing division in this country. And the thing that was nice to see, at least in the world of sports, was did you guys watch any of that video that I posted earlier about sports, in the event, in the face of a tragedy?
No.
Well, right after remember the Boston Marathon bombing that happened?
Yep, with the twin brothers.
Yeah, the brothers.
Yeah.
I think it was that night. That night or shortly thereafter, the Boston Bruins were playing, and the guy was singing the national anthem to open up the hockey game, and then the whole crowd, the entire crowd stood up and started singing the national anthem from beginning to end, and it was tough to watch. It was very emotional. That's a nice little video that I put up there earlier.
I hate to say this or even bring it up, but, we have this open southern border where people are coming across, and God only knows how many terrorists are in this country now. So what's going to happen now? You know, terrorists love crowded places, sports arenas, football games, baseball games, subways. I mean, wherever there's a crowd of people, I mean, look out. I mean, just be aware of your surroundings. Always watch everything.
Yeah.
And starting January 1st in my state, catch and release starts. So it's going to be like New York and California here in Illinois. You know, I already carry a gun 90% of the time with me. But, you know, I don't want to shoot people. But, you know, now that I'm going to have this catch and release program going on up here, a high probability I'm going to be shooting people. And I don't want to.
Yep.
But I'd rather have it and not need it, and need it and not have it.
Yeah, you know, the border situation, not to get political, but that's a problem.
Yeah.
And, you know, this has nothing to do with, at least I don't think it does, immigrant, but in California last week, this boyfriend and girlfriend, they're arguing. Was it a husband? I can't remember if they were married. I want to say, oh man, I can't remember. I have to go read it again. I posted it a few days ago. They're arguing. They've been fighting for days, and he had enough. This is in California, broad daylight. He grabs her, he decapitates her.
Oh yeah, I read the headlines on that.
Holy crap!
Yeah, that is a wow.
I mean, that sounds very third world-ish, right?
Yeah, it does. But then I mean, it just goes to show you that the mentality of anybody, it could happen to anybody. I mean, a sane person can snap and go insane for a split second. And maybe the guy was not sane to begin with. I don't know. But wow.
Had to have problems.
Yeah, had to have been some serious situations, issues upstairs.
Just too many nasty, I don't know, too many people just going berserk, going overboard. Some mental illness, something is wrong somewhere down the line.
Well, and I mean, yeah, we were shut down for 2 years straight. So yeah, that takes a lot of out of this.
COVID, the lockdown, stay home, and you know, put everybody into a panic, and not good.
No.
You know, pandemic. I don't believe it was real. Yes, people died. I understand that. But I think there were folks who had, they've said it already, people with underlying conditions already.
Mm-hmm.
They were already sick. And then this virus came along and just did them in. And some people, I didn't know that they were sick. This virus attacked, and, you know, they had autoimmune problems and immunity problems. And they didn't know either. And just the virus did them in.
Well, and I mean, I get it. It's something brand new. The world has not seen a pandemic since the Spanish flu of 1918, was it? And that's pretty much the same thing. You know, people wore masks, there's handkerchiefs over their mouths because they didn't want to catch it, and because people would die. Okay, well, yeah, the people that died back then, same thing. Underlying condition: the old, the weak, the elderly, sick people. They would catch it and die.
Yep.
Same thing with the COVID. Yeah, strong people caught COVID, and you know, fecked them up a little bit. You know, I have asthma now due to COVID from when I caught it. But yeah, it sucks. But you know, now, wow, lo and behold, we're treating COVID like a flu, which is pretty much what it is.
Yep. And just like any flu, if you have a flu, stay home. Don't talk to people. Give it a few days. See a doctor. And for most people, that's all it would take.
Yeah.
Do the quarantine thing for a little bit, and then get on with your life.
Well, the CDC now says you don't even have to quarantine. If you test positive for COVID, put a mask on for 4 or 5 days, go about your business.
Yeah.
You don't need to quarantine. You can be around people. It's just like the flu, which I think I said pretty much like 8 months into it. Yeah, it's just like the damn flu. And the one thing interesting about it was if you grab a Lysol can from like 2015 and you start reading what it kills, oh, lo and behold, COVID-19 is on that damn can.
Yep. But even the masks, if you want to keep talking about this, you can talk about the masks. You can buy a box of masks, and it says on the box, this will not protect against COVID.
Yeah.
It says right on the freaking box.
But yet they forced you to wear that damn mask. And you know, I if you want to wear it, fine, go ahead and wear it. Does it help? Maybe a little. But I think the masks do more harm than good, but that's my personal opinion.
I know, Tanji, I'm diabetic also, but I wasn't even I got vaxxed because of my sister, who's a cancer survivor, and I think that's the only, and the job wasn't forcing me yet, the airline. At that point, they were not forcing us to. They were not even recommending it. But because of my sister, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll just get it. And I got the Pfizer, the 2-part Pfizer, and I was fine. Nothing happened after that. But I'm not going to do a booster. Have not done a booster. Not going to do it. And I have my opinions on masking and vaccines and stuff. But, hopefully that's all behind us right now. I know this monkey thing came out. What they call monkeypox?
Monkeypox, but they're trying to change the name because monkeypox is too, I don't know.
Harsh?
Yeah, because it's...
Don't insult the monkeys or what? What is it?
They feel that it hurts some people's feelings because I guess some, and I don't even want to say it, but some white people in the past have called some African American or black people monkeys or porch monkeys.
Boy, yeah.
So we're calling it monkeypox. So it's, yeah. I mean, I get it. I understand it, but come on. I mean, if anybody in this country is dividing us racially,
call it the primate pox.
It's the Democrats are dividing us. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, that's right. Then they were saying it's sexually transmitted between the gay population.
Well, and it's not sexually transmitted. They're saying that it's more towards homosexuals catch it because they procreate like rabbits.
The homos do?
Yeah, we fuck like rabbits supposedly, and you have prolonged contact with people. So, and that's how you catch monkeypox. Because I called the local health department here because we have some cases in the county I live in. I'm like, well, I'm in an at-risk category. I have asthma. I have diabetes, and I work in the public. I said, she goes, oh, you're not going to catch it just like from taking money from somebody that has it. You actually have to have skin on skin contact for 2 to 3 minutes consistently. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, then what the hell's the big deal?
Yeah, sorry, folks. We didn't mean to be so graphic at this Sunday evening story.
Well, I tried to clean. I tried to clean it up. I mean, how?
I think you shocked Judith here.
I'm sorry, Judith. I'm sorry.
But anyway, yeah. So we just wanted to talk about September 11 a little bit, and kind of share how we felt and realize some of the changes that happened because of that since then, mostly in the airline security industry.
Yeah. And you're right, Kate. Monkeypox has no gender. It'll attack anybody. Or primate pox, whatever we're calling it now.
Primate, yeah. You know, I read this thing where Biden, the administration was changing all the names, anything that had the word squaw in it, SQUAW.
Oh, because we're offending the Indians.
That it was offensive. Hey, Native Americans, all right? It was an offensive word. It was a derogatory term for a woman or woman's parts.
How can squaw describe a woman's part?
I don't know. But after reading it, I read a couple articles on it, and a lot of Native Americans were like, that's just one of our words. It's not offensive. You know, like, here we go. Here you got the activists saying, oh, that's offensive. That's offensive to them.
Okay, it's not the activists. It's the cancel culture. I mean, if you think about it, the cancel culture canceled a lot of stuff because a little group of 500, 5,000, 50,000 people it offended. Like the little Indian lady on Land O'Lakes. Oh, that's offensive to all Indians. Aunt Jemima. That's offensive to me because a black woman's on a box and she's called Aunt Jemima.
I know, and it's funny how they're trying to stand up for the black people.
Yeah.
But they didn't take none of the white people off the boxes.
None of them. Look at Quaker Oats. He's still there.
They even took Uncle Ben off. He's gone.
Poor Uncle Ben. And you know, if they would have did their damn research other than sitting there going, oh, that's offensive to black people. Okay, Aunt Jemima was the first black millionaire woman in this country.
I'm surprised they don't have a group forming going, hey, why are you taking a black woman off the box? She's in front of billions of people every year for a lifetime. She did something good. Why you got to remove her from that packaging?
So just because it offends this 50,000 or 500,000 or a million people in the cancel culture doesn't mean it offends everybody. But because they have big names in their pockets and they know who to blow, pardon my French, they can get shit done. And I'm really glad somebody down in Kentucky at the horse derby said, F you to the cancel culture. We're going to play our song that we always play for the derby.
Yep.
Because the cancel culture will keep on going and keep on going until somebody says, fuck you. It's enough. Enough is enough. You're done.
And here, you know, I just saw this article today. Not an article, it was a post, a meme or a post. China is teaching their kids in school physics and, you know, advanced mathematics.
Yep. And
we're teaching our kids pronouns and gay stuff and sexual stuff. It's like, you want to know why we're falling behind? Yeah, that's why.
Well, China has always been more intelligent than this country in a whole. I mean, they go to school 360 days a year. They force their kids to learn shit where we're like, oh, you don't want to do that? Oh, that's okay. You can sit. Here's a bowl of ice cream.
Yeah. Aunt Jemima was an actual person.
Yeah. Her person that owned her helped Aunt Jemima create her brand.
And I said it before, I think there's a movie. Yeah, the movie is called Imitation of Life. The movie's from 1959, and it's that story of Aunt Jemima and the family that helped her and stuff. But yes, calling a black woman Aunt Jemima, it can be seen as derogatory, and it probably is most of the time. But Aunt Jemima in herself, was a real person. So how can that be derogatory? How can that be something bad? I know, Chuck, the cancel culture didn't do it. The businesses did it. Yeah, but they did it under pressure from all these groups.
Ignorant millennials and XYZers.
The family of the late financial man Brand pleaded that they were still getting royalties and they were proud, but the cancel culture won anyway. Yeah, right? That's how you know things are messed up.
Mm-hmm. And look what they did to poor Mr. Potato Head.
Even Mr. Potato had a freaking toy.
Poor potato guy.
What was that? They don't want to call him Mr.?
Yep. It's just Potato Head now. So they got rid of the Mr. and the Mrs. because of you kind of like the whole thing with a doctor delivers a baby. Congratulations, it's a boy. And the woman goes, you don't know that. And the doctor's sitting here staring at his penis, and I'd be like, yeah, pretty sure I do know that. His penis is 2 inches from my face. I'm pretty sure it's a boy.
People, Mr. Potato Head got affected by the cancel culture. Tell me how ridiculous that is. And now, I understand about equality in general, but now they want to make everything has to have a black version. Like, was it the mermaid or whatever cartoon? Now there's got to be a black mermaid. Or a black, what is it?
I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with that, whatever.
I do sometimes. I'm like, just leave things alone. Come up with new stuff, original stuff. Like, leave things alone that are already there,
I wonder if, like you just said, that you got to have a black this and that. I wonder if it offends some of the black people.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, okay. So, we're just using the African American community because I just heard about that mermaid thing that they want to. Was it mermaid or Frozen? I can't remember. They use a black character now. But look
if you think about it,
a movie like New Jack City. Great movie. Wesley Snipes, Chris Rock.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
What if a bunch of white people say, "Hey, we're gonna remake New Jack City, all white people"? Oh, that wouldn't go over well, now would it? I guarantee you it wouldn't.
Well, and if you think about it, the movie Annie. Okay, well then all of a sudden, several years later, you have Curly Sue.
Oh yeah.
And then you have the black Curly Sue. I can't remember what that one was called. Or was Curly Sue the black one?
The black people have a problem with Disney trying to blackenize Disney. And it's not just a black thing. They're forcing that, and they're forcing, I don't know. I don't even know if I care about it that much. Commercials are now have same-sex couples, when you're showing commercial about insurance or a car or something. And I don't know. I don't know that I care about that, but it's like just trying to be the equality thing, or I don't know. It's just going overboard. It's like you just want to be accepted and not bothered with it, yet you want to rub it in everybody's face.
Oh, it's actually a black Annie. That's what it was.
A black Annie?
Yeah, they actually remade Annie, but it was in an all black cast.
I don't know. It's just.
Well, and then you had Coke telling the white people that they were too white.
Stop banning books.
Well, I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think books should be banned necessarily, but there's certain kind of books where I don't want into schools for the kids to read. That's what I think.
Well, yeah, there's some books that should not be allowed in schools.
In schools, yeah.
But they should be in libraries.
Put them in libraries, or people want to buy them anywhere, fine. I don't care.
Because the second you start banning books, that's, censorship.
Don't try to sexualize my little kids at school. That's none of your business. I will talk to them about sex when I feel it's right. all of you guys will talk to your kids when you know that the time is right to talk to them about sex. That's your business between you and your family.
Absolutely.
I don't need the teacher at school telling kids to be quiet. Shh, don't tell your mom we're talking about this stuff.
Was it you and I that covered that woman that was banned from the YMCA or the YWCA?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, we did talk about that.
Yep. Yeah. She was banned because the YMCA had a trans person standing inside the locker room, the showers, the female showers, where the girls were little girls, changing, taking a shower, all that stuff. And this older lady, she said, "Hey, get out of here! You're a man, trans, whatever, but you're a man." So the YMCA banned the old lady, for telling him to get out of the ladies' bathroom. Yeah. Saying that she was being discriminatory. And they banned her from the YMCA for life.
Which is a crock of shit.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, it was in Oregon. Portland, or right outside of Portland, or something like that. Now tell me that's messed up.
Well, that's beyond messed up. Personally, if you have the parts of a man, you should be in the man's locker room. If you have the parts of the female, you should be in the female locker room. I don't care what you think you are.
Do you remember Sheep nursery song? It has been changed years ago in Scotland. It's not black sheep, it's a white sheep now in the nursery song. I don't know what song that is.
I remember a sheep song, but I mean, I vaguely remember it.
Hey, David Smith. Cultural appropriation. I don't think there's a lot of blacks in Denmark. I know there are, but you're right. It's not a large amount.
Paisley, I don't think drag queens should be introduced to children at such a young age. That's something that they need to know, or not even need to know if they want to learn about. That's something like in their teens.
Wish Disney would leave out boys kissing boys and girls kissing girls.
Bob Black Sheep. That's one I was thinking of, Chuck.
Yeah, I don't know why they have to show that. Whether it's girls or women kissing or guys kissing.
When they're doing that on
freaking Disney, come on.
Yeah.
It's freaking Disney.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm as a gay person, I am sickened at the way Hollywood and our government is shoving gay down your throat.
Yeah. We said this before. You know, I grew up in a part of Chicago that was gay.
Okay.
Boys Town. But back then, they just wanted acceptance and just leave them be. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
Don't point to them. Don't address them. Yes, they're gay. Just leave them alone. Just leave us alone. Let us live in peace. That's all. And that was good for a long time. But now something happened and they got to shove it in your face and you have to call them this or call them that or use those pronouns or these pronouns. And if not, you know, you're a bigot because you don't use the pronouns, or, you know, in the case of Jordan Peterson in Canada made it a law. If you don't address somebody by their pronouns and they complain, you can be fined. And if you don't pay your fine, ultimately you go to jail. So there you are being forced to call someone by their pronouns. I think it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think they would ever do that here. And if they did, I would not. I'm not going to be forced.
All right, Carl. Oh.
I'm not going to be forced to call anyone anything in particular, but I'm not going to be rude to them if there's a trans person that's transitioning to a female and looks like a female or they're living like a female, I'll say miss or ma'am or whatever.
Yeah, you may say that, and then all of a sudden you're going to hear, "Well, thank you very much."
Yeah, he made that joke, not me. All right, that was him.
Well, and I was at work a couple of months ago or whatever, and one of my coworkers has this friend who says he's straight, looks gay, acts gay. Queer's a $3 bill in my book. And I looked at her. I said, "So is the gay kid going to come up and see us today?" And this woman says, "You shouldn't pick on the gays like that. That's not nice." I said, "Lady, I can pick on the gays all I want. I'm one of them."
Yeah. Yeah, you already answered this, right, about the drag queens for kids.
Yes, I did. If they want to know about that in their early teens, like 13, 14, that's... 4, 5, 6, no, they have no business, because I'll tell you, drag queens, they some dirty hoes. They are some dirty hoes.
I suppose they can be. He would know better than anyone. And it's not about what they read. Even if they were going to read the Wall Street Journal, but dressed in drag, just the fact that they're dressed in drag is going to have the kid start to question certain things, and you don't.
What's the point? Why do you got to be dressed in drag to read a book?
Because they want your kids. They want the kids to start talking about this at a young age.
Okay, I mean, I get, the world has evolved and people are starting to evolve and accept.
They're recruiting. They're recruiting at a young age.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to accept homosexuality and gayness and queerness. The queers. Yeah, wow, the new gays. They're out there. I don't understand them motherfuckers at all.
The new gay.
The new gays.
What is a new gay?
But and I guess to get it out there, society to accept it even more is to shove it in your face and shove it down your throat. Okay, well, just like electric cars being shoved down your throat, you're only going to take so much before you start saying fuck you. No more. Like we did with COVID. We're like, fuck you. We're done. We're over it. Don't even talk to us about it anymore.
And they keep adding the letters to the LGBTQIA plus. And sometimes I refer to them as the alphabet people.
Well, and
not out of disrespect, but just because there's too many letters, and if you miss one, somebody gets mad.
Just as are gay people born gay? Yes and no.
Yeah, I agree. Some are, and some just, I don't think they're gay. I think they just like the sexuality of it. And maybe there are some that do go gay.
Yeah.
But some people are born like that.
I think the majority of gay people are born that way. Whether you want to say that they're wired wrong or wired not right. Well, I mean, who's to say that they're not wired not right? I mean, I've met some really ugly people that aren't wired right. and I mean, ugly isn't like evil.
Yeah, and Chuck, you're right. There are a lot of straight people that are dirty hoes too. It's not just the trans drag queens or whatever. Drag queens.
Yeah, but drag queens tend to be a lot. They some dirty hoes. They some dirty bitches. I mean, look at me. I can turn anything sexual. It's a curse and a gift.
What he said.
How's the new computer, Bam? Chuck, I love it. I'm still trying to figure out this whole Apple thing. I figured I'd get on or figure it out pretty quick because I've always had an Apple phone, but I mean it's completely different with the computer. But it's quick. I like the fact when I click on something, bam, it's open. I love that.
Yep. Welcome to 2022, buddy. In my opinion on how I feel about it, you don't throw it in my face. Yeah, do what you do. Don't throw it in my face. I don't care what everybody does. I don't care if you're gay or trans or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Just don't be an asshole. That's my whole thing.
That's me. I'm the asshole.
I don't care how you guys, people live their life, whatever. Just don't be jerk offs to everybody. And don't try to force people to. Not everybody's going to like it.
No.
And the more you try to rub it in people's face and force them to like it, the less they're going to like it. So, anyway. All right. That's all I got for tonight. I didn't want to be on horrible for a long time. You got to get to work early in the morning tomorrow,
Yeah,
right?
Maria just said good night. She's got to go sleep time for her. So, yeah, I mean, it's coming up on sleep time for me. What time is it?
9:20, 9:19.
Yeah, 20 after 9. So, it should be my bedtime.
Yep.
Last year, I was in bed by 7.
Yeah, I remember that. Sorry about that. It's nasty. That's nasty.
This year, I'm kind of like pushing it.
7 o'clock.
I'm pushing the envelope.
So, let's say right now you go to what time will you actually get in bed and try to go to sleep?
Well, since I just made a drink, I figured we were going to be here for another hour. We normally are.
I know.
So that's why I got up and made another drink. I'll finish this, and I'll probably be in bed in about 45 minutes.
Oh, okay, so you have a little bit. And are you one of those that can fall asleep like right away?
Usually, yeah. Well, I mean, once I turn the lights off and I get my sheet on and my blanket on me, and I kick that recliner back, within like 3 minutes, I'm snoozeville.
Nice. Yeah, I try to listen to my music. I'll put on the ear pods, put on my music, whatever, lay down, and the song won't even finish. I don't even remember what happened. I'm just, next thing you know, it's 4 in the morning. I'm waking up to go to the bathroom.
I used to listen to, I have this app on my phone, and it plays different white noises like a stream or a thunderstorm or whatever. And I used to listen to that, especially when I was out traveling. I'd listen to that a lot. But I got to the point now where it's like, yeah, I don't need it. I just close my eyes, and within 3 minutes, I'm gone.
Well, that's a racist thing to say. White noise.
Well, that's what it's called.
You know, the blacks are very upset about that, and the brown people too. Like, there's no brown noise.
Okay, Vanessa, we'll make
why
brown noise.
Why are we being excluded from noises?
Okay, well, you're the one that told me that Hispanic Mexicans are considered white.
Yeah, they are. Believe it or not.
So you need to tell Miss Vanessa she's not brown.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with her.
Because brown people are, and to me, since you told me that you're considered white, but I consider everybody a fucking human to begin with. I guess a brown person to me would be like an Indian, like from India.
It should just say U.S. citizen or other. That's what it should say.
Well, I just filled out some paperwork the other day, and they wanted to know my race. And I always check other, and if there's a line there, I write human. And then now they're starting to get smart. Now they have the ethnic background, Hispanic. And it's like, well, Caucasian's not there. So I check non-Hispanic because that one's there. So I'm non-Hispanic. It's either Hispanic or non-Hispanic. Those are my choices. And then under race, other. I'm a human. And that's the way it is. This is humanity. We're humans on this planet. It's what a race is. You're human.
Ultimately, I know there's a purpose for it, but it's just...
Well, if you want to know my ethnic background, then ask me that. Don't ask me what my race is, and then the choices be white, black, Asian. That's ethnic backgrounds. That's not a race. A race is what we are on this planet. Earthlings, humans. That's a race.
Yeah, good point. Good point. I like what you say at the end, usually one planet, one people.
One people, one planet.
See, but then that's what they want. They want the new world order. Just one government. controlling the entire globe.
That's what China wants.
Cryptocurrency only.
China wants to be the new Adolf Hitler. He already owns America. I mean, we're in debt to him in the trillions. They own, I don't know how much land over here. They come over and they buy land like there's no tomorrow. I guarantee you, the Chinese are going to invade.
Nicole and Chris, my hubby is African American, and on paperwork, they ask what I am. I told them Hispanic, but I have a lot of black in me also. I get it. She has a lot of black in her. Get it? Her husband. Okay, okay. Just kidding.
You
but
go,
yeah,
girl.
you got
Go, girl.
You got Hispanics that are black. You know, like Puerto Ricans.
Well, I think Prince was black and Hispanic.
I don't know what Prince was.
Or black and Hawaiian, something like that.
Prince. Let's see what he was. Other names. There's other names. The artist formerly known as Prince.
Yep.
Camille, Joey Coco's The Kid, Alexander Nevermind, Jamie Starr, Tora Tora, Christopher Tracy, His Royal Badness.
I know he was the Kid for a while.
Born in Minneapolis.
Yep.
Let's see. Relatives, last name was Nelson.
Did you just not type what it was Prince's nationality?
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't say. It won't say. It doesn't say. Did you know? You know, I hate it when movies, and they make movies, you know, it's called quality control or continuity. Purple Rain. Did you see Purple Rain?
Several hundred times.
Supposed to take place in Minneapolis, right?
Yep.
Right. The whole movie, because he's from there. They film at the club. What's the name of that club that was on the corner there?
God, I don't know.
Was it Metropolis? No, not Metropolis. It was. If somebody remembers, they can toss it up there. Anyway, do you remember the scene where she's gonna buy him the guitar at the pawn shop?
Uh-huh.
She's outside on the street, and then Morris Day comes along, and she's kind of chit-chatting with him.
Oh, yeah. You know a really good pawn shop?
In the background, you look down the street, what do you see back there? The Cecil Hotel. Guess where that is?
Vegas, isn't it?
Los Angeles. The famous Cecil Hotel. And they didn't even blur it. You can see it. The Cecil Hotel way down the street.
Huh.
And I noticed that the last time I watched the movie, and that pissed me off.
Well, Cecil Hotel's haunted.
Yeah, that's a nasty hotel. Yeah.
That's why I thought it was in Vegas.
Not a good hotel. That's where that, what's her name?
Spit it out, Manny.
I forgot her name. The Asian girl who was just mentally something wrong. She disappeared. She was in and out of the elevator like she was talking to somebody. And then she vanished. She disappeared. And then a couple days later, people staying at the hotel were complaining that the water tasted and smelled funny.
Yeah.
And they were drinking that stuff. Right? So maintenance goes to check the water tanks on top of the hotels. They find a dead body floating in the water supply. And she was there. She died. She got in the water tank and drowned or something. And nobody knows. Nobody knows a friggin' thing. Can't remember her name. Something I remember. Sorry, I gotta look it up.
Okay, so I just found this on Prince.
Elisa Lam. Look up Elisa, Elisa Lam on YouTube. A lot of documentaries, weird stuff. There's video footage of her playing with like an imaginary person in the elevator. Real creepy. Elisa Lam.
So Prince's is the son of 2 black Louisiana natives who migrated to Minnesota. So I guess he's black.
Yeah, African American. That's what he is. Not that it mattered.
Yeah,
huge
not that
loss
it
with
matters.
him. Huge loss. Man.
Oh,
Dude was very
God,
talented.
yeah. He was, wow, a genius, a musical genius.
Yeah.
His father was a jazz musician and his mother was a social worker who were both African American. Okay. There you'll have that. I thought he was a mix.
Great movie. Purple Rain.
One of my favorite ones. A lot of great music on that album.
I just looked up the one yesterday. There was a scene at the club, and this dude's up there singing on stage. I want to be a
cowboy.
Debonair. Is it Debonair?
I think I know the song.
I just looked it up the other day. I was playing the freaking thing. I thought it was Legionnaire, but yeah, no, that's not what he says. I want to be, I think it's Debonair. Anyway.
I want to be a cowboy.
Anyway, okay, we're doing one of Vanessa's 40-minute goodbyes here.
Are we? Are we though?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Well,
So
speaking
she's
of my best friend Vanessa, have you seen or heard from her?
No, she's missing in action. She said she was going to go into hermit mode, right? And that her moderators were going to be her admins or whatever were going to be moderating the hate while she's gone.
Okay.
So let's see. Let's see what she's been up to. Has she been posting stuff? Yeah, she has.
Okay, well, if she's posting stuff, then we know she's not in the Huskow.
More Uvalde videos. Let's see. She's got a photo of herself in New York City from 2017.
Well, that's not new.
Nope. What's his name? Matthew McConaughey. She's posted up a few things. Anyway.
Oh, she probably wants to jump his bone.
We'll figure out in the next few days where what's going on. All right, everyone, have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit. Remembering September 11th.
And a few other things, like the cancel culture.
Yep.
The gays, the new gays who are
Cancel
crazy.
culture, the gays.
The new gays who are crazy.
The new gays.
The new gays, that's what I call them, because they don't know what the hell they are. Well, okay, bear with me here, okay?
Okay.
So my pronouns is them and they. Okay, so them. Well, hey, do you want to go to the mall with them? More than one person? Or hey, what do you think they are doing over there? More than one person. So you yourself want to be called a them and a they. I'm sorry, you're one feckin' person. You don't qualify as a them or a feckin' they.
Yeah, when you say they, that implies plural, more than one. Even if it's only two, they're they. Modern air, that's it. Thank you, Kate. Exactly right.
See, Kate's on the ball.
And I think I did post that. I think I did post that song. Anyway.
So
you know
the new gays, they're fucking out there. They are out there. They don't know what the fuck they want.
What the hell is a Huskow?
Jail.
What?
Jail. Huskow.
What word is that? I never saw it before.
I guess maybe that's just where I live. We've called it the Huskow. Oh,
Huskow, U.S., a slang word for jail.
There you go.
Why is a jail called a Huskow? The word is from a Mexican-Spanish juzgado, a jail, which came from juzgado for a tribunal or a courtroom. It shifted to mean a jail because the two were often in the same building, and the path from one to the other was often swift and certain. Juzgado. Oh, juzgado. Juzgado. kind of like judged upon. Someone who was okay, I get it now. I get it.
You feel what I'm laying down?
See how he worked it out so quick?
You feel what I'm laying down? Yeah, we've always called it the Huskow. Look out, you end up in the Huskow for the weekend.
I don't think that's where she's at, though. I don't think Vanessa's in the Huskow.
Well, she could be down in Mexico doing a donkey show.
Someone just told me that she was commenting on another live going on just now. So she's making her rounds. She's watching everything. She's listening to everybody.
Vanessa, I am collecting faces of yours, and I'm going to choose the best one for my ass tat.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that next week because some people don't think you're gonna do it.
You're going to end up on my ass. And trust me, I have a whole lot of ass.
God.
I can make it as big or as little as I want, but it's just I don't have a whole lot of this, so the tattoo might only end up like that.
Yeah, tattoo is gonna be 2 inches square, like a stamp.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Vanessa, you won't let me sit on your face in real life, so I got to get your face on my ass so I can sit on your face.
Oh man. So anyway, today was the official opening of football season.
Oh yeah.
So Bam loves sports, so he really
all it does is fuck up the news.
Only the night games do.
Yeah, so, your 9 o'clock news comes on at 2 o'clock in the morning.
So the Bears won. That's the only important thing. Someone needs to drive by Jose Martipos in Brownsville. She might be the rumor was she went to Matamoros this weekend. Yeah, I heard a rumor like that too. I didn't really care what she did or where she went or whatever. Maybe she just needed a mental health break.
Well, she is kind of mental. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, watch out. She'll come after you too, buddy.
Well, so the other day we were on here talking about something, and somebody said, "Look out, Bam, you'll be next." I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I don't. It's her and her minions. She's got people who don't even know her that do her bidding or try to find out information or whatever. It's like, do you? I don't know. It's just dumb. I don't want to talk about it. It's not worth the breath coming out to talk about it. Everyone have a great week coming up. I'll probably be back here tomorrow with you guys.
Yes.
Thank you for being a part of our night just for a little while.
Yeah, now that everybody knows what the hell a Huskow is.
King Charles joke. Oh, shoot. Breaking news. VT is in Facebook jail, dropping this open conspiracy. That's funny. That's funny. Did David do a joke? Did you do a joke, David? How come I missed it? I missed a bunch of stuff. Damn, I missed too much stuff here.
Yeah, so old King Charles,
King Charles III, artist formerly known as Prince. Ah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a dad joke.
Well, speaking of King Charles, so the country of England is supposed to be in mourning for 10 days.
Yeah.
So he hasn't had the coronation yet to make him official king, but he's king. So the guards are already out going, 3 cheers for the king. Hip, hip, hooray. Okay, so why the hell are you cheering for the king when you're supposed to be in mourning over your queen? And then you're cheering for the king and going, God love the king. Okay, well, the king's not dead. You're supposed to say God love the queen when the queen's dead.
Right. God love the queen. God save the king.
Oh, God saved. Okay, maybe that's
God save the king. Yeah.
Why do we want to save him?
It's kind of like saying God bless the king. The crucifix thing. God bless the king. God save the king.
Bam needs to move. It looks like he has horns. Oh, I see that horn right there. You're right. I like it. This side. How you doing there, little horn? How you doing, little horn? Hi.
I can see the little stubbies coming up.
Look how.
Actually, they've always been there. We just didn't notice them.
Exactly.
All right. Time to go ahead and snack before bed.
No snack. That's when you get fat.
Yeah, that's all right. It's a snack. I'm going to eat some peanuts. How's that?
Peanuts are good. Lots of protein. Everybody loves a good nut. I know I do.
Like this magic cup? Look, it's got the Statue of Liberty right on it right there. See?
Oh, that's nifty. It's catching your background.
Yeah. This tumbler is green.
Is it really?
It is.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool effect.
Yeah, it looks like you can see right through the damn thing.
It's hilarious. That's funny. All right. Have a great night, everyone. We will talk to y'all. At least I will for a while. I don't know about Bam.
Hasta luego.
Good night, everybody. Have a great week.
Good evening.